Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Thursday. It is Things to Think on Thursday. I am tired AF, okay? So I was like, I'm not putting on makeup, you get lipstick. That's it. But, yeah. You know what's funny? Like 240 something years ago, the United States declared its independence from England, and yet I'm pretty sure half of America was up this morning watching the Queen's kickoff of her Jubilee, the Trooping of the Color. And I admit I did wake up at 1:30 to watch it at 2 because, you know, they're not our monarchy, so I don't really have an opinion one way or the other on them. But I love the pageantry. You know, I love the parade type of thing about it. Good morning, baby sibling. Good morning, older sibling. So, yeah, so I've been up since about 1:30 this morning. Went to bed before the sun went to bed last night. Got about 4 hours of sleep, 4 or 5 hours. And then, I was up because, like I said, I really, really enjoy the pageantry and the, you know, just the whole kind of, I don't know how to put it, but it's so fascinating to me, you know, and maybe it's because we don't really have stuff like that here. But anyways, I'm doing today's things to think on Thursday. I'm just going to do an affirmators deck, and the reason I was telling you all that before is because my brain is full shite right now. But I pulled out the Rebel deck today, as I'm a little punchy right now, so I thought, what about let's just do sweary cards, you know, let's do the sweary guidance cards. So we'll do that, then we'll do an affirmators, and yeah, so these are fun though. I love these. So brace yourselves, because these get mouthy. All right, these get very mouthy. So, all right, let's go. Ooh, this is a good one. All right, remember, these get mouthy. Get the fuck out of your head, get in your heart, it misses you. So get the fuck out of your head, get into your heart, it misses you. Basically, stop overthinking. Stop overthinking. So, yeah, overthinking is a bitch, you know, and it will get you every single time. So, but, you know, when you get into your heart and you really kind of buckle down in that particular area, you get this... You start to become one with yourself again. You start to kind of feel your way around and through things. Whereas when you're overthinking, you're just like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? And you want to pull out your hair and everything. So what this is telling you is that when you get back into your heart, you can center yourself, you know, and you can maybe just take a deep breath, get some mindfulness, you know, in there. Like we talked about that yesterday on Self-Care Wednesday. It was mindfulness. And, which I forgot to post in the comments. Sorry about that. And, you know, your heart misses you because it wants to help you through, but it can't help you through if you're busy overthinking and ignoring it. Okay. So get out of your head and get into your heart. Let's see. Ask a fucking expert. Don't rely on your friends or the internet. Listen to a damn professional. I don't know who needs to hear that, but there you go. This is a good one. Stop texting, stop stalking, stop checking on that person. Just fucking stop. Spend your time on someone worth it. Don't waste it on ridiculousness. You know, I don't know. I had coffee with a friend yesterday and she was telling me about someone she knows, and I was just kind of like, so, yeah, stop texting, stop stalking, stop checking on that person. Just fucking stop. Spend your time on someone worth it. Don't waste it on ridiculousness. Oh, baby sibling, you're so funny. Oh, I haven't talked to you in a while, so I don't know what's going on, but you know, okay, here you go. And it's pink. It's pretty. So take a shot. Don't take 12, take 1, okay, maybe 2. And if those don't work out, move on. If that doesn't work out, move on. So, you know, oh, here's a good one. You are loved. You are here for a reason. You are here for a reason. Don't fuck it up. There you go. You were here for a reason. Don't fuck it up. Because you are loved. So Don't wallow. You know, if you're having a pity party, it's okay to have a pity party, you guys. Every so often, we're going to need one of those to validate our feelings, to get through our feelings, to navigate them. Sometimes it's an ocean of feelings that you have to navigate, but don't live there, okay? You are here for a reason, and when it says don't fuck it up, it means when opportunity comes to you, when it's knocking on your door, listen. Okay, listen, because you never know what's going to happen. So listen. Let's see. This is a good one. Don't believe every shitty thought you have. Thoughts can be sneaky, lying bastards. All right? So don't believe every shitty thought that you have. Thoughts can be sneaky, lying bastards. Yes, they can. That's overthinking. That's when you need to take a step back and get out of your head and get back into your heart. All right? So, that one. You are giving too many fucks. Give 0. That feels like a follow-up one to stop texting, stop stalking. So you are giving too many. You know what? If people can't, I'm just going to put this out there now for anybody. I promise this is for anybody who resonates with that card, the stop stalking and all that stuff. If people can't see your value, you need to move on. And I will tell you, if it's meant to be, it will happen. One of the conversations I was talking yesterday or the day before, I can't remember which day, about talking to one of my friends this weekend, and I was kind of laughing because they were telling me about how in high school he's like, yeah, you know, their spouse and well, you know, them and their spouse were just they said they were like frenemies, right? So I was laughing and I'm like, seriously? But then later, I guess they still kept in touch because they still kind of traveled in similar parallel groups. And later, you know, something big had happened. They were text messaging everybody or messaging everybody. Responded, and now they're married. Okay, so sometimes when we walk away, it gives the other person time to see the value of what they're missing in their life. And if they don't ever see that, then maybe it just wasn't meant to be, which means, you know, you can move on and move forward, you know, and that doesn't mean it's just done. Sometimes it just takes time for it to work out. Okay. So, yeah, my mic did go weird for a second. My alarm went off. I forgot to I thought I turned it off, but I didn't. So, my alarm to remind me to do this. So if you guys had trouble hearing me for a second, that's why. So I apologize for that. So yeah, just, you know, if you're giving too many, give 0, because like I said, when I talked about my friend, them and their spouse, you know, there was nothing, I mean, there was stuff there before, but nothing really there. And, you know, they said that this person needed to grow up and, you know, and this, that, and the other. So this person had decided, okay, I'm just going to focus on me. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. And like I said, now they're married, they have a daughter. So you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes you just have to give them time to see what they're missing. All right. And if, you know, if they don't come back, you are probably going to find what is meant for you. And I know it can be hard. I know it can be hard. You know, I used to get so frustrated when I was, you know, when I had boyfriends, because I always felt, why am I always the one that is grounding them for somebody else? And it hurt. But every so often I would have mutual friends that would get back to me. And this isn't a humble brag. This is just making a point where they would say, you know what? I never knew what I had until she was gone. And they were pretty mean when they would break up with me. And it's just kind of like, oh, you know, but to hear that kind of made me feel like, okay, so even though it was my job, I guess, to ground them for the next person that came along, at least I know that, you know, in whatever way I touched their lives, it made a difference. So, you know, okay. But, you know, I mean, I know that's not really anything I know that's not really comforting in some situations, but it should give you a sense of pride to know that, you know, it wasn't you, that your presence was, you know, eventually appreciated, and that it did help them find their way. And yeah, it can suck to be the person that grounds everybody, but, you know, someone's got to do it. So I guess that's just how I resolved that in my mind, because it did hurt. It does hurt in the beginning. And then you're sitting here thinking, well, how come they get their happiness, blah, blah, blah. And you could just, that's where overthinking comes in. And that's why you got to get back into your heart, because there's always a reason for something. And I never know what the reason is. I'm literally learning, like everybody else, how to go with the flow. So when we learn this, how to just go with the flow, like what I didn't mention was my friend that ended up reconnecting with, before, reconnecting with this one person that eventually became their spouse and then had the child with. They had resolved themselves to the fact that they were going to be single forever. I know, right? And I'm not naming names or trying to give anything away, because it's not really my story. But it makes a good point with a lot of these cards. It makes a very good point with a lot of these cards that they were just kind of like, I mean, they admitted maybe that was a bit dramatic, but what their point was is that they just decided, I'm just going to focus on my career and, myself, and then poof, things just started to happen. So, sometimes that's what it is. That's what it means by getting out of your head and back into your heart and taking care of yourself. Because then you start to, renew that vibe. You start to pick up that vibe. And when you pick up that vibe, oh, she said the mic is still low. I don't know. Can you hear me now? So, sorry guys, I guess I'm having trouble with my mic. But, anyways, I'll try to talk louder. So, I don't know what's happening. But anyways, just give yourself a chance and give yourself a break, okay? Don't drive yourself crazy. So, ooh, fuck, shit is about to get real. You need your people around you. I don't know what that's about. Yikes. But, if you need your people, get your people. This one's for me. Get some fucking sleep. Okay, so baby sibling says it just sounds weird. So I'm going to try something. Can you hear me now? I mean, is it better? Is it worse? Is it what? So, yeah, maybe I just unplugged this. So you're basically just getting me on the regular mic from the phone. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Either that or I'm just so tired. My energy is just messing everything up right now. Okay, hi T. Well, I'm not on the mic anymore, guys. So if you could tell me what it sounds like now, that might be helpful. Just because I'm not on the mic anymore, I unplugged it, so I'm on the phone now. But yeah, I'll have to check out that mic in a bit. So thank you for letting me know, guys, about that. Boo on the mic. So it could also be the feed. I've been having problems with the Facebook feed. So anyways, let's get to, ooh, the Affirmators deck. We got a bonus card. And what happens when we get the bonus card? We get to pull another one. Anyways, all right. So now they want me to plug the mic back in. I know, for everybody watching this on the replay, I'm very, very sorry. I thought maybe the mic would just work. Not suitable either, so. All right. If you guys can hear me, let me know. I'm talking louder now, so hopefully that will help. But anyways, generosity and communication. So, okay, I guess I'm back now. I think what happened, just to kind of catch everybody up here, my alarm went off, and somehow that messed up the feed. So I apologize for that. And anyways, I guess we're back. So, now we can keep going. Generosity. I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there is more than enough to go around, and that the key is to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person at the stadium who doesn't do the wave. There's a lot of people at the stadium that don't do the wave. So anyways, I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there is more than enough to go around, and that the key is to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person at the stadium who doesn't do the wave. Believe it or not, when you do these gratitude books, the law of attraction books, that's one of the things they talk about, is just, giving, not giving like you're forcing it because you're trying to force this vibe to happen, right? But, giving, maybe you think someone needs something, or maybe you're trying to be helpful. Giving doesn't always mean money or presents. It can also mean your time. So, when you give generously and you keep this going around, no matter how little or how much, how much or how little you have, it's helping to keep that cycle going, that flow going, So, just think about that. All right. Because like I said, a lot of times when you get that cycle going, it does return back to you in one way, shape or form, in some way, shape or form. Okay. So, communication. Well, I'm going to see how I'm going to tie these cards together. That'll be interesting. Wonder how that other person's feeling? Ask them. Wish they knew how you were feeling? Tell them. You've just been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask, do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will just make asses of everyone, including the person who came up with that aphorism. What is it? Ass means making, or, about making an ass out of you and me. So, I know my brain is just it's not firing on all cylinders right now. But, the phrase. So anyways, so generosity, this could tie together with time. If somebody needs you, and you have a few moments, give them those few moments. If you can, because a lot of times people just need somebody to listen. People just need someone to reach out to them to say, hey, are you okay? You doing all right? Sorry, I haven't had time for you, but it's been crazy, but I have a few minutes if you need me. So, that's always a nice thing. So generosity isn't always about, like I said, money or gifts. It's about your time. It can be about your time as well. It could be about you talking someone through something that they're just struggling with because they have no idea how to get past certain things. I've been stuck for days in trying to figure out how to move past, being that deer in the headlights I talked about yesterday. And it's been driving me nuts. I've been trying to journal it. I've been trying to do this, that, and the other. And so at some point I know I will talk to somebody and someone will just be like, hey, let me set your brain straight. And I'll get there. And sometimes we have to come to that realization as well. So you can also be generous with yourself when it comes to time. A lot of times we don't want to take time to think about our feelings, to feel our feelings, to think about our thoughts, because we're afraid we're going to get lost in them. We're afraid we're going to drown in that sea of overthinking, that island. We're going to get landlocked on that island of overthinking, right? Or shipwrecked. So you're just stuck in that sea of misery and trying to figure it out, going, what the hell? How does this work? How can I do this? And, that's when we have to reach out for help. Send out the smoke signals. If you need someone, text them, call them, whatever. And just say, hey, you got a second? I don't know. All this stuff is just coming out of my brain, so I'm not even sure if it's me talking anymore. But, I know, right? I'm just kind of like, ugh. But I'm not really sure how to tie these cards together, but I know that either message is necessary. So I'm going to read the communication one again. I love the bonus cards. Wonder how that other person's feeling. Ask them. Wish they knew how you were feeling. Tell them. You've been drafted into the communication army, where there is a strict do ask, do tell policy. Speak with kindness and gentleness and reach an understanding. If you don't, assumption will make asses of everyone. And that is true. How many times have we done that, right? Where we've sat there and said, what are they thinking? They're not talking to me. And I don't know. And, sometimes it can be a hard conversation, but if you have to have that conversation, you have to have that conversation. And, I've learned that from people that I've talked to, where they've had other people that they've just said, yeah, I just reached out and said, hey, what is happening here? What's going on here? And it's inspiring because, we're not always going to get the answer we want to hear, but it's the answer we need to hear, so remember that. You're not always, when you ask for something or when you put something out there, you're not always going to get what you ask for, but you're going to get what you need. Okay? I'm starting to sound like a Rolling Stones song. So I think that was the Rolling Stones. I don't know. Like I said, my brain, poof, it's not here. So anyways, and then like I said, with generosity, you know, it could be money, it could be gifts, it could be time, it could be volunteer time. Generosity is how you see fit. It's being in service to someone else. It's serving from a full cup. It's serving, you know, from that place that's not your head trying to make you feel better, but getting back into your heart and trying to help someone else, which, believe it or not, will come back around and make you feel better. I mean, it may bring more than just good feelings. You know, karma has an interesting way of working. And I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes, how karma works, you know, and it can be a very beautiful thing. So be careful though, because if it's naughty, it will come back and it will bite you in the ass one way or the other. And it may not even do it to you directly, but it could affect you directly. So just, you know, it's not hard to be kind. But when it comes to that, also, you know, be communicative, especially if you're in a relationship, especially if you're new in a relationship. A lot of times, and this I'm just thinking about the gathering, the get together I had yesterday with my friend, and how we were talking about when they first started seeing this one person, they weren't afraid, and they had just come out of something bad, and they just laid it all out on the line for this person, and this person was just like, okay. And they told me that before they had told this person all this information, you know, nothing bad, but they were afraid. They were scared because they didn't want to be rejected again. They didn't want to be hurt again. But by being honest, and just being honest at the beginning, they're like, all right, and okay, no problem. That doesn't matter to me. Okay, that doesn't matter to me. You know, it was like age and status and all that stuff. It's like, it doesn't matter to me. It's like, I totally dig talking to you. And, you know, in a couple of days, they're going to be, or in a week, they're going to be celebrating their year together. You know, and when they first got together, they had so many different visions of how life was going to go for them. And now that they're together, it's fun to watch them grow together. It's actually been a privilege to watch them grow together, and to see that, you know, even when life feels like it is barreling down on you, and it feels like everything is just going kaput in 5 billion different ways, that when you just leave yourself open to something, beautiful things can happen. So communicate, and you know, like I said, generosity. And again, don't just think of generosity. I mean, they have a little rabbit giving I guess it's a hippo, a gift, but it's a gift. And it's not very specific as to what it is. And it's small, right? It's not how much you have or don't have, but it could be the gift of time. It could be a monetary gift. It could be the gift of listening. It could just be a gift of spending time with someone who just needs to sit in silence with someone for a moment. Or it could be the gift of talking something through with somebody. Generosity comes in many, many different forms. Okay, so don't just narrow it down to one thing. Give yourself the opportunity to, you know, to see the different things that you could do as in service to other people. Like for instance, generosity. I think it was last week. Might have been last Friday. Baby sibling was being room mom for her oldest, or for my oldest nephew's class. And I guess the school they're at, I think it's actually a continuation school, not a continuation school, but like a school that just goes from X grade to X grade. So they didn't have a ceremony for these kids that are leaving elementary school and going into middle school. So she and the teacher threw them one. You know, they had caps. They had they made like little frames, like class of 2022, and they brought lunch, and it was just something beautiful to see. They were being generous, not just with what they were giving to the students, but with their time. And not only that, but they were being generous with their hearts, because they were showing these kids, hey, maybe there isn't some big ceremony here, but this is a big deal for you. This is a huge deal for you, because you're no longer really kids, you're kids, but now you're going into middle school. And middle school is like the gateway to high school. It's where everything starts changing. It's where everything really starts changing, and you really start kind of heading towards being an adult. I don't even want to talk about it, because I want my nephew to stay young forever. But I know that's not going to happen. But I'm pretty sure this kid might even be as tall as I am now. I'm not that tall, but he's only going to be 11. So, can I say? I had a 12-year-old pass me up in height. So, I know, Auntie Shelley's short. But I'm pretty average height. I'm 5'4" and a half. But yeah, it's also been a privilege watching these boys grow, and I do miss them. I want to see them soon, because I don't want them to forget me. So, but I look back on that, and I loved going through all the pictures that I saw, because that is generosity. That is people, and mostly of their time. The kids probably didn't think about the money that was spent on them. What the kids are going to remember is the time and the effort that was put into making this day for them special. Making them feel like, wow, we really are on to the next, and it wasn't just like, okay, I'm going from this grade to this grade. But no, they felt special. They were important. I mean, they're always important, but they were extra special that day, because they had all these activities. They had all this fun stuff. So, kudos to baby sibling and my nephew's teacher. I don't really know how to say her name. I know how to spell it now, but I don't really know how to say it. But I don't know. It touches me. So anyway, that's it. It's a short one today, because I'm just kind of like, whatever. But not really. I'm just kidding. Not whatever. I don't want to ramble. I'm rambling now, and I don't want you guys to have to sit around listening to me ramble. So, again, sorry for the technical difficulties that happened a little bit earlier. Thank you to T and Marie for helping me, troubleshoot that. So, I'm glad my mic's not dead. Yay. I got to remember to be more cognizant of actually turning off alarms, so they don't come through and mess everything up. But anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Tomorrow is Aloha Oracle Friday. That's going to be fun, because I'm pretty sure my butt is going to be tired, because I also have a play tonight at 8 o'clock in LA. I know. I'm going to talk about that one for a second, because I think it was on Apple TV. At one point, Apple TV was showing it. It's a show called Come From Away. And Sibling and I were talking about it recently, and so she surprised me and got tickets. And I'd already seen it on Apple TV, but I think it'll be kind of fun to watch it live. But it's the story of, and it's based on a true story of when 9/11 happened. We always think about the buildings. We always think about the planes. We always think about the plane that went into the countryside in Pennsylvania and into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. But we don't think about what happened to all the other planes that were already in the air, and how a lot of them on the East Coast, because, the West Coast wasn't really starting up yet. They had enough time to just shut it down over here. But over there, everything was already in full swing. It was like it was in the 5 o'clock a.m. hour that these horrible incidents and tragedies were starting. But that was 5 a.m. here. It was 8 something over there. So, like I said, we were just waking up here on the West Coast, and somewhere in the middle people of the United States. But over there were people already in the air, and they needed somewhere to go, because they couldn't land on the Eastern Seaboard, because everything on the Eastern Seaboard had been shut down to prevent anything else from happening. And so I believe it was Newfoundland where this story is based. And they had tons of planes landing. Now, this town was not equipped for the amount of people that they got. but it talks about, how there's like just this frenzy and it's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And then, a little bit of like, oh, seriously, why us? And then it kind of morphs into friendships, and there is singing, but I'm excited. We're going to the Amundsen tonight. It's going to be nice to get out. It's going to be nice to be a part of the world again, to go see a show, and to see one that I really, really enjoyed actually live, because I know it was the beginning of COVID that I think they were about to tour, and obviously everything got shut down, so Apple showed it. And if it's still on there, I really recommend it if you like musicals, because I like plays and musicals. I mean, but it really kind of, it gives you the feels. It gives you the feels, because the one good thing, which is since dissipated, the only good thing that came out of 9/11 was 9/12. And by that I mean, it was a day when people came together. Nobody cared what the other person looked like. Nobody cared what the other person's politics were. But in this country, everybody was an American. There were no finger pointing. And maybe people might say, well, that's a naive way to look at things, but it doesn't have to be a naive thing. I like that this play has come out again because, 9/12 was an important day. It was a time in this country's life where people were shown what can happen. It was just like the World Wars. It brought people together. It brought Americans together. It brought people from around the world together, because obviously a world war. And this kind of was one. It brought a lot of people together, because it was a World Trade Center, which means that it wasn't just Americans that worked in there. It was global. And like I said, it brought this country together. It brought part of the world together. And then we all fell away from that again. We all found a way to push away from that. And, in life, there are going to be times when everything feels uncertain and we're going to push away from the good things. And we're not even going to realize we're doing it. It's almost like, saying, no, I don't deserve this. Well, I know this country does deserve a 9/12 without some tragedy happening. And I know somehow we can get there. It's one of the reasons why I do vent on this. I do vent from time to time on the perspective, I admit. But I try not to, because I really want this to be a vehicle to promote positivity. Not to shove it in your face, not to shove it down your throat and tell you, oh, you got to be good. We're all going to have shitty days. Okay, we're all going to be assholes on certain days. It happens. I don't, unless you're the Dalai Lama, I don't know a lot of people that don't get cranky. And he may get cranky, but I doubt it, because, he's got that whole mindfulness thing going. But, people do get cranky. And we're human. That's what we do. We live our lives. We do this, that, and the other. And then we keep going. We don't live there. We keep going. But I know it is in each and every one of us to show kindness. It's in each and every one of us to not judge someone for something they believe in. It's not always our place to overstep and tell someone, well, this is how you should be living your life. I've made that mistake. And I made that mistake because a lot of times we just want to save people from feeling the way we felt, but we don't know that that's going to happen. And if it does, that's the lesson they have to learn. And I've had to learn that the hard way, and it's not easy. But I realize now that, my purpose isn't to change people. It's to give them something to think about. I can't change anyone, but I can plant seeds, like Johnny Appleseed, right? I don't know if he's just an American thing, urban legend, or what, but I'm pretty sure it's just an American urban legend. But come on, he has to be well known around the world. It's Johnny Appleseed, but whatever. But the point is, I think every single one of us has the ability to plant good seeds. There's so much negativity in this world right now. There's so much anger and angst and animosity, and it's overshadowing all the good things in the world. And we need to take that power back, and we need to take it back fast. And if somebody says, well, stop being so naive, it's like, I'm not being naive. It's like, I know the realities of the world, but I want to put some light into it. I want to shine some light into that darkness as much as I can, because that's my purpose. And it's not always easy. It can be very frustrating. I mean, very, very frustrating. You know, I don't even know how many people actually watch this, and I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. But I figure at some point it's going to get traction. I hope. Or maybe someday someone will be just randomly Googling and this will come up and it might be the message they need to hear. You know, not necessarily this one, but any of the millions that I've done in the last year and 11 months, I guess. Almost 11 months. So just think about that for a while. What are we doing to put good into this world? How are we putting good into this world? You know, you can really kind of, maybe that's where the tie is with communication and generosity, the 2 cards that we had. You know, maybe it's not just about being generous with your time or, you know, monetary stuff or doing for others. Maybe it's just planting that seed. Being generous with your thoughts. Being generous with, you know, how your ideas of how to make this world a better place. And, you know, I know we can't just say, poof, 1 million people have changed, but we can start one person at a time. It's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. Throw the rock into the pond and see what happens. You know, throw the pebble into the pond, skip it into the pond and see what happens. And you'll see the ripple every single time. Every single time you'll see that ripple. And that's the effect we can have on other people. Just by planting one seed or planting that pebble right in their little lake. You know? So, again, tomorrow's Oracle Friday. I'm really going to do it this time. I know last week I said I was going to, but I did not. So, have a great, great day. If you have anything you want answered, I can't guarantee it will get answered, but put it out there. Put it out to your source, the universe, whoever you turn to. If you don't turn to anyone, just, you know, think about it and maybe it'll poof its way to me. But however you do that, don't worry about where the message is coming from. Okay, and I say that for the people who are like, oh, that's devil's work. No, it's not, okay? Because I actually use spirit guides and angels to do this. So I'm just saying, I'm planting seeds of understanding. So again, like I said, just put it out there and we'll see what happens. You know, the yes and no cards, or the angel answers cards, they're kind of fun because with the exception of the last time we used them, they really tell a story from beginning to end. So I will do my best to be focused tomorrow so that we get something good coming out of these. And I'll do my best to give everyone a good message. So like I said, don't worry about where the message is coming from. Just focus on the message because it might be something that you need to hear. Okay, so I hope everyone has a great, great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook Live. It is public. Anyone can watch under Shelly Marie Lucas. That's exactly like it sounds. Shelly Marie is one word. If you don't want my mother to haunt you, you will remember that. And Lucas is with a C. And yeah, anyone can watch it. If you can't come on live at 8:30 a.m. California time, I do upload them to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas afterwards. All right. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves. And thank you for watching.